A particular discovery in the North Mountain region of Georgia would secure a certain end to the Cherokee landholdings in the state. In 1829, gold was discovered in Dahlonega. It prompted the nation's first gold rush. The term itself, Dahlonega, is derived from the Cherokee dialect meaning yellow money. The rich gold deposits were located in the Cherokee territory, seemingly out of reach from the white men who were determined to strike it rich mining for the gold. Quickly, the Georgia legislature passed a series of oppressive laws against the Cherokee Indians and any legitimate association they had of the gold. The new laws stated that the areas within the Cherokee territories where gold had been discovered were now under state control. The following year introduced another law forbidding the Cherokee Indians from even possessing any of the gold found on their lands. By the 1830s, all hope for the Cherokee in Georgia was coming to a dreary end. The decade opened with an 1830 Georgia law stating that no white person could live on Indian land without first taking an oath of allegiance to the state's governor. This did not only upset many of the Cherokee living on what they considered to be their own land, but it also upset many white people. Reverend Samuel Worcester was among a group of white missionaries working and residing on the Cherokee land. It was Worcester's belief that because this land was the property of the Cherokee, which the state of Georgia did not own, had no authority over it, Worcester and a few others refused to take any oath to the governor and continued to live on the Indian land. As a result, he and the others in defiance were arrested and sentenced to 4 years of hard labor in a state penitentiary. Georgia's governor offered pardon to those imprisoned if they would only take the oath. All but Worcester and one other agreed. Eventually, this issue was taken all the way to the United States Supreme Court. Supreme Court Justice John Marshall ruled that the decision of the Georgia court could not stand because Cherokee territory was not subject to state law. Marshall then ordered Worcester to be set free. A newly elected governor of Georgia refused to comply with Marshall's verdict. Even President Jackson refused to enforce the order, balking this infamous quote, "John Marshall has rendered his decision. Now let him enforce it." With both the state and federal governments turning their back on the Cherokee, it would only be a matter of time before the land-hungry citizens of Georgia would forcibly evict the natives from their homes and consume their land. In 1835, the Cherokee were summoned to sign a removal treaty at New Dakota. They were to agree on a treaty giving up all Cherokee land remaining in the southeast. Interestingly, any Cherokee member who did not come to this meeting was considered to have agreed. Of the 17,000 Cherokee members, fewer than 500 showed. The Treaty of New Dakota ceded the remaining land of the Cherokee over to the state of Georgia. Some Cherokee protested against the unfair treaty. John Ross, the principal Cherokee chief, was perhaps the most vocal crusader against removal. Ross would make an appeal for help from Washington, but his request for justice went unanswered. Within 3 years, Ross would be leading his people on a forced journey away from their home.